Welcome back to Delicious on a Dime. I'm Chef Gabriel Ayala, and this week we are going to be working with chicken. So, chicken is another versatile product that we can utilize in different ways in kitchens. Today, we're going to start with orange chicken. Well, my rendition of orange chicken. And let's get started. Let's just jump right into it. All right, so first and foremost, the main ingredient we're going to need is chicken. And we're gonna dice it into like medium-sized cubes. All right. And while we're doing that, we want to make sure that we have a little bit of oil. I use canola oil because it has the least amount of flavor that transfers over in order to fry something in. I mean, you can choose to fry in whichever oil you want. Frying in olive oil is very expensive, so I recommend using canola oil or sunflower oil. And in my case today, we're going to be using some canola oil to fry in. It's medium to shallow pan. All right, so now that I have the chicken diced up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a batter, I guess you would call it, a dredge or a batter. I'm taking about 1.5 cups of flour, about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and I have 2 eggs over here. Crack these inside of that. And then start mixing that up. And if you see that it's too thick, you want it to be kind of runny, almost like watered down yogurt. Okay, so that's super thick. We're gonna add a little bit of water to that. What I like to do when I'm making these types of batters or slurries, I take salt and pepper and I add it directly to it, because what happens is that flavor transfers over. And nobody likes bland food, that's for sure. Especially in the Caribbean. Alright, so now I'm going to dump the chicken bits and pieces inside and let that cook. You want it to be able to stick to it. This isn't like your standard breading procedure. This is more like a dredge. So it lightly coats it enough to get a tiny thin skin on it, and then it gets crispy as well. Let's get this out of the way. Let's check our oil. And the way you check the oil is you drop a little bit inside, and you see if it starts to basically start to fry. All right, that looks pretty good. So I think we're ready to go. So take bits and pieces of the chicken. Drop them inside. And the secret is to make sure that they're GBD, GBD or GDB? Golden brown and delicious. So GBD. There we go. I see the temperature is a bit too high. What I want to do is I start to lower it a bit, because you don't want it to burn either before it cooks the inside of the chicken. I think we're looking good. trying to make sure I get it in there without making a funnel cake instead. They're all starting to stick to each other. Yeah. Alright, so that's enough. We're not going to overcrowd the pan. We're going to let those cook. Okay? So as those are cooking, we're going to start working on our orange sauce. And what I like to do is I like to always add a little bit of onion to my sauces, only because it adds the flavor. It doesn't have to be a lot, and it can be also very small, almost like you're accentuating it with tiny garlic clove, but instead you're using onion. It always adds that extra touch of flavor. Okay. I'm not going to put too much in there. Alright, we'll put a little bit of olive oil just to kind of get the onions going. We'll let those get a little translucent. We don't want them to get too brown. And you'll see how fast that this goes while the chicken is cooking. They're getting some nice color. As you can see, they're starting to brown up. But you want to get them even more brown. This is still too light. And as they're floating, that even also gives you an indication that they're cooking very well inside, because they start to rise. It doesn't go and stay at the bottom. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the orange juice. I'm going to add some ground ginger. Dab of soy sauce. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the zest from an orange and you're going to put that inside as well to give it that extra touch. I like to put a lot because I like the flavor of the orange, especially if it's named orange chicken, right? I also want to put a little bit of crushed red pepper to give it a tiny kick. You don't have to put that in. And the way we're going to thicken it is we're going to make a slurry, right? And the slurry consists of a little bit of cornstarch, and I'm going to get some water. So I'll add the cornstarch in here. And that's going to thicken our sauce. You don't want to use too much because then it's going to end up way too thick. You'll see immediately how it starts to thicken the sauce. See, just a little bit went a long way. And now you can see that the sauce is already way thicker than it was before. And it's ready for when our chicken is ready. What I did was I pre-cooked some rice, so that way I had it ready to serve with it, but you can serve it on top of anything. The chicken can be served on top of a salad, eaten by itself, with some vegetables stir-fried into it. So really the options are endless when it comes to this. This is the main ingredient, but you guys can try different varieties at home. Alright, so in the meantime, while this is done and the chicken is frying, I'll go ahead and start plating it. So I'll take the slotted spoon and I'll start removing the chicken. Drain some of that oil off of it. Alright, once the oil is drained, you can basically just drop it right into the sauce. Give it a nice coating. Just place it right on top. A little green onion. Some orange, and there we go, orange chicken. Enjoy, guys.